Alright, we're looking at classifying triangles today, so we want to be able to classify them by both angle measure and side length. So these first four are angle measure, meaning those are being classified by their angles, and these three are side length. So we have an acute triangle where they're all acute angles. We have an equiangular, which it has three congruent acute angles. We have an obtuse triangle, which means it's going to have one obtuse angle in there, and then the right triangle, which has the right angle. Then as far as side lengths go, we have equilateral, which means all three sides are congruent. Isosceles, which means at least two sides are congruent, and then scalene, which means none of the sides are congruent to each other. So first example, classify each angle as acute, equiangular, or obtuse. So here I see that I have all 60-degree angles, so this would have to be equiangular. Part B, you can see in here that we have an obtuse angle, so that makes this an obtuse triangle. Example 2, classify XYZ as acute, equiangular, obtuse, or right, and explain your reasoning. So XYZ is this whole diagram here. So when you look at the angles of what we have, these two together here, using our angle addition postulate, angle XYZ would equal 90 degrees. So if I'm going to explain my reasoning, I'm going to write this out. So I'm going to say, using the angle addition postulate, we know angle XYZ equals, the measure of angle XYZ equals 90 degrees. Therefore, so using the angle addition postulate, we know the measure of angle XYZ equals 90 degrees. Therefore, triangle XYZ is a right triangle. So that is a great geometric explanation right there. Example 3. It says if point Y is the midpoint of VX, so along here cuts that in half, meaning those are going to be equal to each other. WY is 3 units, so right there I have 3. Classify VWY, so VWY is right here. I'll just shade that in a little bit. Classify it as equilateral, isosceles, or scalene, and explain your reasoning. So I'm going to say, based on the definition of midpoint, we can say, or we know, that VY is how long? So if this whole thing was 8.4 and this is the midpoint, that means this is half of that, so that would be 4.2 units. Since that doesn't look like since none of the sides, no sides, are congruent, triangle VWY is scalene. So we have a side length of 4.2, one of 3, and one of 4.5. So since they're all different, that means that that has to be a scalene triangle. All right, one more example. Find the measure of the sides of the isosceles triangle with base KL. So if KL is the base on here, that means that side is equal to that side. So it says find the measures of the sides, so we got to find the measures of all three sides. So if this is the base, these two are congruent to each other, so I'm going to set those equal and solve. So I would add here, and then add here. So if I substitute this in, one step at a time here. So I could do right here, LM would be 12 minus 5. So LM would be 7. KM is congruent to LM, so I can say that KM also equals 7. And then this side, KL, would be 5 plus 6. So KL is 11. Alright, so you have to do 2 quick classifications on there, one by angle and one by side length. And your joke of the day: why did the mushroom get invited to the party? Because he was a fun guy. I love that one. Alright, I hope you have a great day, and make sure you're kind to someone today.